Hey you guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel where I hope you guys stay uplifted, motivate you, and find peace amongst yourself. So if you're interested in those type of videos, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below, make sure you're subscribed. Today is July 1st, 2021. It is 7:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and today is Thursday. So happy July. It's a new month, new beginning. So let's just Okay, so for those of you guys who are new, my name is Ty, Talks with Ty, Ty Bold. You guys can follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter at Ty_guidance and on Facebook at Talks with Ty to stay up to date. Once again, I am a influencer. I am a motivational speaker. I am a life coach, whatever adjective you would like to describe. And I'm a regular person letting you know that you're not the only person who exists. I talk about mental health, what has helped me along my journey, what I've been exposed to, educate you guys as well as uplift and motivate as well as myself, me too. I just wanted to say happy new month. I almost said happy new year. It is a new year, it's 2021, but for this month, you guys, I want to continue on with being consistent. I've made playlists previously in the past with specific videos, but as of the month of April to now, I've been consistent. So I just want to give myself a big pat on the back. For anybody who's new, you guys can go ahead and check out those videos as well as my intro videos. I just want everybody to know that we're going to continue off the rest of this year strong. I'm going to continue off the rest of this year strong, taking our time, taking each day for what it is, because when it comes to finding peace amongst yourself, it starts with you, it starts with your belief, it starts with your attitude, and it takes every single day. No day is going to be the same. So welcome back to my channel. It's a new month. Today is July 1st. I'm excited for the rest of this month as well as the rest of this year. So for those of you who don't know, I have skin problems. So if you see me like put some type of moisturizer on my face, it's because I have health conditions and issues just like everybody else in the world who goes through things, letting you guys know that you're not alone. So for today's video, and starting off for the playlist, which is called Taking Action, What to Do. So in this playlist specifically for this month, we will be going over things and topics, suggestions, and advice of taking action. So the previous playlist that I made for the month of June was mental health awareness, just acknowledging and understanding and breaking down, because I realized that when it comes to finding peace, that it's a process. When it comes to living your life, when it comes to healing yourself, it is a process. It is not something that's going to take overnight. It's something that happens day by day. So I've realized if I make playlists and videos specifically in that order, we can go ahead and start. When I first started my channel, I wasn't consistent. I was just making general posts, which are not bad, but I've realized specifically to strategically make the videos in order so it's easier to follow. So therefore, if you get the concept and you have the basic understanding of the process, any other videos that I suggest and advise will benefit you as well. So for today's video specifically, we will be talking about how to acknowledge mental health. So I have, like I said, other videos that I've made previously in the past. You can check out the playlist, as well as I will go ahead and leave the video of what mental health is in the description. So how to acknowledge mental health. So really quickly, if you don't know what it is, I'm going to go ahead and briefly read you the definition. Once again, for anybody who's new, I am going to eventually, once I reach my goal, I'm going to have a dictionary and a thesaurus. I feel like when it comes to learning, it's very informative to educate yourself as well as other people, especially if you're going to uplift someone. I feel like the more factual, the more informative, the more likely it is for someone to succeed. So I like to read keywords that I'm talking about to not only educate myself, to have a basic understanding, but for anybody that I'm teaching or suggesting and advising. So mental health is considered a noun. It's a person's condition regarding to their psychological and emotional well-being. So the example that they have is all this pressure seems to be affecting his mental health, and that's a good example and a good sentence. So acknowledging your mental health. So how do we go about acknowledging our mental health? What do I suggest and advise when it comes to mental health? First things first, having the basic understanding. So knowing that your mental health is what you're feeling psychologically as well as your emotions, and that every single day as human beings, we're going to go through a lot of emotions. Realistically, because we only have 24 hours in a day, our emotions are going to be temporary, but they're also going to affect us based off of our moods and our understanding. So what I've realized, what has helped me along my journey, is to be disciplined, to process my emotions, to accept my emotions, and to feel my emotions for what they are, not try to brush past them. I've learned from my mentors and people along my journey that when you have a problem, if you fall, for example, instead of getting up immediately once you fall, sit there and see and take the time to process why you fell, when you fell, how did it make you feel, and understand what you can do differently to get yourself back up. Because a lot of people, when we go through things in life traumatically, we allow our trauma to get the best of us as the days continue to go on. So in my previous videos, and for those of you who don't realize or don't understand that in life, nothing is going to change. So I say that all the time. So what do I mean? Monday through Friday, it's always going to be the same. Saturday through Sunday will be the same. December through January will always be the same. The only thing that's going to change is the actual year and how we feel as people. So if something happened to us, let's just say in 2013 and it's 2021, if mentally our mind is still replaying 2013, anything that happens to us in 2021 is just, not only is it just an example, but it hinders ourselves and we're not able to move forward because we're so stuck. And that's what trauma does. That's what PTSD is. And I suffer with both. I have been in traumatic situations in my life. For those of you guys know, I talk about some of the things that I've been through. I haven't talked about like the more severe traumatic things. I plan on doing that very soon. But understand that when trauma happens to us, that it is okay. No, it's not okay for us to be suffering, because in life, no one asks to suffer, but that's what a lot of people need to understand. No one even asked to be born. So if you didn't even ask to be born, you didn't ask to suffer. So understand that your trauma is something I suggest and advise that you learn how to cope with and understand. And what I've realized, that the more you're able to, the more convenient, the more sooner you're able to learn how to process what you're going through, the more easier it is for you to understand how you feel about yourself. Now, of course, there's no specific time when it comes to grieving. There's no right or wrong way to grieving, but I suggest and advise that when something happens to you, you learn to take the time to reflect. So, for example, in 2017, my father passed away. The day that he died, I just started going to trade school. And I remember I thought I was mentally prepared to accept and move forward, but I did not realize, because I didn't take the time to, grieve properly and take time to myself. I was like, I'm just gonna go back to school and just try to do what I needed to do while I was in school. I did not realize that because I didn't really heal properly, 3 years later, I suffered way more than what I needed to. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because when things happen to us and we don't expect it to happen to us, we get into a shock. And that's normal, because when it comes to trauma, it's many steps and stages that affect us. So, like, first thing is being in shock, being in denial, having the heartbreak, being hurt, learning how to heal, learning how to grieve, and etc. So I've realized what has helped me along my journey. Like I said, when you learn to acknowledge your mental health, first things first, you want to acknowledge and understand your state of being, which is your mind, because subconsciously and consciously, that is what we have at the end of the day. Our physical body is just our shield. So when it comes to life, when it comes to understanding your mental health, how do you acknowledge your mental health? Understand and ask yourself, are you okay? And understand, if you're not okay, accept that you're not okay. I had to realize that I try to sit here and suppress my feelings instead of taking the time to realize and admit that I was not okay mentally. I was really upset, because for me, I did not get to speak to my father, and I tried to sit here and was just like, well, what can I do about it? And I had to realize, like, no, that is not the proper way to heal, because I did not realize that I was causing myself a burden. I was causing myself this cage around my chest, and that to the point that when I would get angry, I would lash out and I would leash out. And I had to realize that anger stemmed from me being upset and not having the proper grieving of my father passing away. And I had to realize how that's going to affect you. If you do not understand and acknowledge how things make you feel, you're going to be triggered. And if you don't understand what you're triggered any and every single time something happens to you, you're going to be very sensitive and everything is going to be personal. So understand if you're okay, and if you're not okay, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to cry, whether you're a male or you're a woman. I don't believe that when it comes to people's emotions, gender, a lot of things in society, you guys, I do not believe in. That's just me necessarily. Like, I'm very old school traditional when it comes to how society is viewed, but because unfortunately I wasn't here millions and trillions of years to put this earth together and design it, I'm just one person. So when it comes to gender, I believe that men and women equally should work on their mental health. I understand that growing up in a society, men were taught to not have any emotions or to not feel, which I believe is not okay, because you see, not all men, but a lot of men, scientifically proven, when it comes to suicide, when it comes to serial killing, when it comes to any type of crime, men are the ones, usually scientifically proven, like 60% versus 40% women. They don't have the mentality because they're taught to be strong. They're taught to not express their emotions. Like, they may be logically very in tune and very, intelligent people, but when it comes to their emotions, anger is a form of emotion. And a lot of men are angry because they don't know how to express their feelings, or they don't know how to, or when they feel like they're being vulnerable, they feel like they're weak. It doesn't matter if you're a male or you're a woman. If you feel some type of way, you're allowed to, because at the end of the day, all of us are people. That's why here on this channel, I don't judge people. I'm not about to sit here and point fingers at the end of the day, because like I said, all of that goes back to history. If you want to be honest, and I'm a very honest individual, if you want to sit here and state facts, we can state the facts and tell the truth. But that's the thing, a lot of people don't know the truth. A lot of people don't want to know the truth. It is not my job to sit here and tell people how to feel and deal. I'm only here to suggest and advise. But so understanding, whether you're a male, you're a grown woman, it doesn't matter. People are allowed to feel how they're supposed to feel, but understanding, you want to acknowledge that. So if something happens to you in your life, it's okay to not be okay. I have days where I'm not always okay. I'm learning now to get through these days because I've accepted my life. I've accepted that, I can't really go anywhere until it's my time to go. So for me, what I've realized was helped me along my journey was to embrace and understand how I feel. So understanding that when it comes to your mental health, you want to just, first things first, are you okay? And if you're not okay, don't be okay. Like, in order to grieve, you have to understand how you feel, what's making you feel the way you feel, and understand why you feel. If you're just falling, because I've learned this from my mentor, if you just fall and you get back up again and you don't realize why you fell, how you felt, and how it made you feel, every single time that you fall, you're going to fall 10 times harder. That's, like you said, being a winner. The reason why people lose is because they don't study why they lost. They don't take the time to realize why they didn't win. They didn't take the time to realize how this affected them. In order to be a winner, you have to win. In order to win, you have to have studied. In order to win, you have to have practice. In order to win, you have to acknowledge what you're doing and what you're not doing. So understand that it's okay that you're not okay. Like, as human beings, once again, did you ask to be born? I think not, because I didn't ask to be born. I always tell people that all the time. I never asked to be born. I never got to pick, and etc. None of us did. That's why there's no right or wrong way to raise a child. There's no right or wrong way to be a parent. That's why you shouldn't judge people. You shouldn't compare your life to other people. Like, nobody is more or less than anybody. And if you think you are, you're full of shit. And that's what I said, okay? So, and I said that, like I said, me personally, I'm not afraid of nobody. So anything that I feel comfortable saying up front, I should be able to say directly to someone's face. And I have no problem doing that, you guys. Like, I'm very in tune with myself. I try to be an honest individual because I know what it's like to be a corrupt person. I know what it's like to be a decent person. I've realized it makes more sense to be a decent person. Like, why have more chaos and things that, unnecessary happen to you for my behavior if you don't have control of everything? All you have control over is how you feel, how you respond, how you react to things. Like, it's not your job to worry about other people, to judge other people. And if you take that time and energy, how do you live your life for yourself? Like, so understand that you want to acknowledge, you want to ask yourself if you're okay, and then you want to make a change. So in order to make a change, you have to realize your state of mind. Like, if something happened to you, so like the example I gave, if your father passed away or if a loved one passed away, if you're not okay, you didn't speak to them, You can let somebody know verbally, or you don't have to communicate. Everyone has different coping strategies. Everyone's going to heal differently. Everyone process things differently. So for example, that's why me personally, I don't tell people what to do. I can only suggest and advise. So if this information is for you, you take your notes. I suggest and advise you get your notebook and piece of paper. If not, you're going to have to find ways for yourself that is going to work for best for you, because just because somebody's just like, well, you could do this and you can do that, doesn't mean that that's going to work for that person. So I give general information because, once again, there's too many people. I am only one person. I can't, be responsible for everybody. I can only be responsible for myself and show examples. Now, what people also need to realize when it comes to acknowledging your mental health is your attitude. So once again, if you're not in the right state of mind, and this is what I realized for me, I have to make videos specifically because I think I got it, you guys. I think I cracked it down to step by step, because it's a process that you have to understand how your attitude is. Like, if you don't believe that you can feel better or somebody can teach you something, you're never going to learn anything. And a lot of people limit themselves because of the belief that, oh, well, this person is not this, and this person doesn't do this, and this person have, like, you don't know until you try. And I can honestly sit and say that and speak on that, because you're not going to know, because at the end of the day, everybody is different. None of us are supposed to be the same. Even a set of twins, they don't have the same name. One was born at a different time. Like, nobody was born at the exact same time. Like, when it comes to twins, like, one had to be born 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 30 seconds, 2 hours before the other one, because, that's impossible. So understand that after you acknowledge how you feel, you have to accept how your mind is and how you choose to believe and how you feel about yourself. Now, if you're in a negative state of mind, if you're still dealing with your trauma, of course, understand that you want to be mindful. You want to understand how it's going to affect you and accept your attitude. So first things first is asking yourself if you're okay. So just acknowledging yourself. If you're not, accepting that. So acknowledge, accept. After you acknowledge and accept, you want to think about your attitude. How do you feel? And you want to understand that grieving, like I said, it took me 3 years to realize that I put myself in a hole that I have to dig myself out of. And it's okay, because once again, there's no set time to grieve. There's no right or wrong way. So don't allow people to tell you things that you don't personally want to be like. That's one thing too. Don't take advice from somebody you don't look up to just because someone's older than you. Because a lot of adults, I'm gonna get into it, a lot of elderly people be like, oh, you gotta respect. If you don't even respect yourself, I'm not going to respect you. And it's not because I can't respect you intentionally, but I'm not going to take the advice from you. So excuse me, I'll respect you as a person, but what you're saying, it can go in one ear and out the other. If people are not making sense to you, if it does not resonate with you, if you do not agree, you're allowed to disagree with people. It's called disagree. You're allowed to disagree. You're allowed to have differences of opinions, because like I said, none of us think the same. Now, if someone's informing you and they're really trying to give you your best intention, I suggest and advise that you listen to understand and not respond. But if someone's just talking into your ear and they're being negative, and you don't have to, and you just say thank you for your time and you keep it moving. Like, don't surround yourself with people who are not going to benefit you or uplift you as well. That's another thing when it comes to acknowledging your mental health. And if that means you got to be by yourself, I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but I realize a lot of people don't like to be alone. That's one thing I love. And I'm starting to realize how very comfortable I am with being alone, because it's like, the more alone time that I have, the more I'm able to recognize who I am and how I feel. I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. And it's just like, if you can't even be alone for yourself, how do you think you're going to heal, or think that you're going to have things stand and be full and have stability if you can't even count on yourself? And that's the problem that I have with a lot of people. A lot of people do not believe in themselves, but want other people to believe in them and expect things and wonder why things spiral back down towards them. You have to learn how to believe in yourself first, and it takes time. Like, once again, like I said, I'm not everyone, so I know everyone is not going to have it as easy as I do or understand the way that I do, but I'm here to show and be an example that when you believe in yourself, you don't come last to other people. When you put yourself first, you make yourself a priority, you're able to do what you need to do. Like, because I'm putting myself first, I know for a fact in a couple of months, I'm going to achieve my goals because I focused on myself. I put myself first. I cut everybody off who was not serving me. And just because I need to, in order to get to where I need to be, I have to be there. Like, in order for me to be front row center, I have to be front row. I have to be in line. I have to, take action. I had to put myself, I have to be accountable. And it's not easy because, once again, none of us were taught discipline. None of us were taught ABC, 1, 2, 3. That's why being alone while you acknowledge how you feel is very beneficial. The more, like I said, you're able to reflect and take the time, you're able to figure yourself out. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that there aren't times where you're just like, wow, it's just me. But when you're able to accept that it is just you, that means you're strong. You're able to sit here and, you know what? If you're around people, you could be around people. If not, you could be by yourself. And a lot of people cannot stand on their 2 feet, 10 toes down, with their head held high. How do I know? Because people have fear and insecurities that they need to work on. And once again, people try to project those type of, and because I'm a no, I don't believe in projecting insecurities onto people. I'm going to uplift you. I'm going to educate you. If not, move out my way. Okay, I'm not with none of that, you guys. I'm not a bird. I'm an eagle. So that means I'm a fly high to the sky. Okay, so with that being said, birds of a feather flock together. If you're not willing to stand alone and uplift and take the time to reflect, you don't need to be around the birds. Okay, we don't need to chirp. We're not birds. Okay, it's so much more to life. Once again, you didn't even ask to be born. So understand that when it comes to acknowledging, you want to accept, you want to ask yourself if you're okay. So acknowledge, you want to check your behavior, you want to feel, you want to process, and you want to learn to be alone so you're able to reflect. Now, is it easy? No, because guess what? Who said that life was going to be easy? Who was born with a book about how they were supposed to live their life? Nobody was born with a book, with a map, with a plan. Nobody. That's why the world is how it is now, because everybody is their own person. All of us have the same 24 hours, but we don't all have the same resources. And here in America, because it's nothing but division, it's even harder. There are other places in the world where they have culture, they have values. That's good for you guys. But here, you guys know the deal. So that's why we need to, as a whole, in a collective, do what we need to do. But because my generation, I was just talking about this among somebody, I do believe, I'm not coming for anybody who was born in the year of 1970 and up, but anybody born from 1985 to like 2000 and let's just say 2000, we know the vibes, okay? Our ancestors, our grandparents, our parents, we are not having this. And that's why you have so much going on now. Like, you see us young people, you see us taking our time to make the differences. We're working on ourselves, we're acknowledging ourselves. We have the resources and the supplies because we have an understanding that, unfortunately, the people in our past before us did not know. And it's okay, because every generation and every single person has a role to play, and everybody's life is going to be different because, once again, everyone does not have the same resources. But when it comes to understanding yourself, you want to sit here and set aside and understand what is distracting you and what's not distracting you. That's why it's important to ask yourself if you're okay. It's important to take the time to be alone. It's important to feel. It's important to grieve. Like I said, when you fall, you want to understand, how did you fall? How did it make you feel? When you fell, what did you do to fall? Like, take the time to observe your energy, take the time to reflect, and take the time to process how you feel. So when it comes to acknowledging your mental health, you want to process, you want to understand, you want to strategize, and you got to accept that it's okay to not be okay. So that's all for today, you guys. Like I said, I'm going to have a lot of videos. Today is July 1st. We're just getting started for this month. I'm very excited for the rest of this year as well as the rest of this month. Practice daily. That's all I'm going to say in all my videos when it comes to your mental health. There's no right or wrong way. And to not give up on yourself. It doesn't matter if it takes you 40 years. It doesn't matter if it takes you your whole life. It doesn't matter. You could be, because guess what, you guys? There are people, I looked at my analytics, there are people in their 60s watching my videos. So it doesn't matter if you're 60 years old. If you do not give up on yourself, it doesn't matter when you get to where you need to be. If you give up on yourself, I cannot tell you how you're going to get to where you need to be. But if you practice daily and you're not willing to give up on yourself, you can do whatever you put your mind to. It's all about the technology, your resources, the strength, your attitude, and your understanding. So just don't give up on yourself. Know that we're just getting started. I'm just getting started. You're just getting started. Today is July 1st. In America, I know it may be a different day, so I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. In America, we have Independence Day on Sunday, so I hope you guys enjoy your weekend and be safe. Make sure you drink plenty of water. You stretch, you meditate, be kind, be grateful, and understand that you're not alone. That's my main focus. That's why I started this channel, because I used to think mentally I was alone. I'm not alone. There are millions of people on this earth. It's just learning how to be vulnerable, accepting that you're going to have days where you feel good and days where you don't. As long as you don't give up on yourself, it's going to take time. That's the purpose of life, is to figure out who you are and what you want to do for yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Live your life, of course, and don't forget to stay YOLO. Until next time.